It's 9:30, August 12th, Wednesday. Want to make sure both of these are connected. I think they are. Well, either way, we'll just stick with what we got, even if we just got Instagram. So, today I wanted to hop on and kind of just dive a little deeper into these next 90 days. So today's day two. Just kind of want to recap what I'm doing, how I plan to go about it, and so I'm going to show you guys how to lose, anywhere from about 8 to 12 pounds over the next 90 days, sustainably, eating the things I want, not having it be the central focus of my life. So, more so not having to mold my life to a nutrition protocol, but kind of molding it around my lifestyle already, right? So, um, I want to go over, how I'll monitor progress. So, I got a weigh in last night. It was 180, or yesterday morning, it was 188.8 at about 13.8% body fat. So, I want to kind of, I'm not huge on number targets, but I know that, I like the way I look around 180. I know typically I'm a little leaner around that weight, probably in the 11% body fat range. So that's kind of what I'm shooting for, right? So what I'll do is I'll probably monitor weight once a week, but I'll also be looking at other factors of progress, right? Which a lot of us can just kind of put to the wayside and not pay as much attention to as the scale. Scale is really just a metric, right? It's something that we can attach way too much meaning to, especially with like daily fluctuations and things like that, right? So the scale really is only just a tool. It's just another metric, right? And it's not the most important, I would say. And so I'm going to look at other factors, right? I have a recovery band that should be getting here today. I'm really excited. I used one for like a year to track my recovery and my sleep and all of these things. And I'll dive deeper into that. But, recovery is a huge part of whether we achieve results or not, and the speed of achieving those results, right? So recovery plays a huge factor. We can't just go 100% balls to the wall all of the time, because eventually we're going to hit a wall, we're going to crash, and it's going to make things worse, right? So we want to take a calculated approach and make sure we're getting our proper recovery every day, right? From our training, making sure our nutrition supports that recovery. I'll also be monitoring, well, sleep, which is part of recovery. How I feel every day, how my energy is, my caffeine intake, whether I'm able to lower it, or I need to increase it. Sometimes when you're at more of a negative energy balance, meaning we're at more of a caloric deficit, you lack energy, right? So you'll need more caffeine. So I'm hoping that's not going to be the case. I'm going to try and balance that out. I'll also be looking at strength. I'm going to be strength training throughout this process, and so um, typically when you're at a deficit or you're losing weight, your strength will go down a little bit. So we're going to try and monitor that and negate that as much as possible. So you see how there's all these other indicators of progress than just the scale, right? So again, that's just one objective measure. Now, um, why I'm doing this and why this is my goal, right? So as I mentioned yesterday, have just really not been as dialed in as I'd like to be throughout these last months. I would say 6, 7 months, maybe even stretching to a year. And it's not that it always needs to be the focus, right? Life happens, life gets busy. You have seasons in life where you focus on growth in other areas. This is just a time where, things are just kind of aligning in my life, especially like with my son on the way. I really want to just be my best self. It's not necessarily about just looking good. It's about feeling good, right? It's about feeling accomplished. It's about feeling like I am living my best life and being the best me to the best of my abilities, right? And so I think this is where, like, this is definitely something I want to dive deeper into over these 90 days is like, um, you know, there's nothing wrong with having a physical goal. I mean, you can be proud and accepting and respecting of your body, while maintaining a healthy desire to want to achieve more and wanting to be better. I think the problem therein lies in having a set number, right? So if I was like, I have to get to 180 pounds or I'm a failure. No, that's not the case. So that's why my goal is variable, right? I say 8 to 12 pounds, but the goal might change over the 90 days, right? Because progress doesn't happen in a linear fashion, meaning we can't control outcomes. So a lot of times we think when we start something, it's an all or nothing mentality, right? Monday, I'm going to start my diet, I'm going to start training, and I'm going to achieve the results. It's going to happen like this in a straight line. But that's not the case, right? This is not only what I see with myself, but with all of my clients, right? It's like progress is more like you make progress, you dip down, you have a bad day or two, you start to make progress again, you dip back down. So the point here is you want that forward progress and you want more good days than bad days. And this is why consistency is so key, right? Because if you have more good days in a week than more bad days, then you've made progress, right? So we need to remember that we can't control the outcome. So there's no point in saying in 90 days I'm going to lose X amount of weight or else I'm a failure. No, because if I'm further along towards my goal once 90 days comes, then cool. It's like now I've already made progress and I'm proud of myself. I feel accomplished. I don't feel like, oh, I'm a failure because I fell 1 pound short of my goal. You see what I'm saying? And so you guys are going to see along this process is like I might reach the goal in, I mean, I might reach the goal of 10 pounds gone in 8 weeks. I mean, I've seen it happen before with myself, with clients, right? So the goal might change somewhere along, I'm committed to 90 days. So somewhere along this process, we might already reach the fat loss goal. It may transition into more of a muscle building goal, which would be cool for you guys to kind of see that process take place. But what I want you to take away from this is that the goal or the outcome goal really should be variable, right? And you should focus on process goals that are going to lead you closer to that outcome that you desire, right? While not really being so attached to that specific outcome, especially if it's a number on a scale, right? For me, I know that body composition and the way I look is so much more important than seeing a specific number on a scale, and it's taken me years to understand that. So if I can help others understand that, I'll be happy. And so, and another thing is like, people are gonna say like, oh, you look great. Like, why do you want to lose weight? Why do you want to do X? Why do you want to do Z? Never let anyone tell you what your goal is. Never let anyone tell you how your body should look, right? We've all got different desires. We've all got different wants. We've all got different goals, right? So this is my goal, and this is why it's important to me. I want to feel good. That's the number one thing. I want to feel good. I want to feel like I'm a fucking savage in the gym. I want to feel like I'm ripped. I want to feel like my health is in an optimal position. I want to feel strong. I want the best of everything, right? And I've been there at times in my life, and so that's what I'm shooting for from a physical standpoint. Um, and the last thing I want to touch on today, so tomorrow I'll really get into how I'm laying everything out, right? How the nutrition is laid out, like, my macros. We'll talk about micros. We'll talk about intermittent fasting. I'll address, eating out throughout this process, and I'll really dive deep into emotional eating behaviors, binge eating, right? Like, what you guys are going to see is this isn't going to be a perfect process. That's why I'm showing up for 90 days to show you that, like, that all or nothing mentality, like fuck that. There's gonna be bad days along this process, right? And I'm probably gonna start out great. It's probably gonna, I'm really determined. It might be 7 or 10 good days, and then we might see a bad day. We could see a bad day tomorrow. I don't know. But the key to remember here is that I'm going to show up every single day. Just like I'm going to show up on your feed every single day, when you have a goal, you have to show up every single day, no matter what, and put in the work, no matter how you feel, right? It's not going to be perfect, but showing up with intention is half of the battle, right? Then you just got to put in the work. So remember, guys, when we do have a goal, it's about showing up every single day. You're gonna have bad days. Just because you had one bad day doesn't mean that now progress is ruined. And that's oftentimes what we see, right? Someone has a bad day and they're like, ah, fuck it, I'm just gonna, I already ruined the day, so I'm just gonna make it worse, right? And what people do is they eat a shitload of food, right? And they self-sabotage, and then it's like now the damage is so much worse than it could have been, right? If you had like you had one bad meal, right? You had one bad day or whatever. Pick yourself up and get right back on track the next day. Getting back on track is only one choice, one meal, one day away, right? So um that's the biggest thing I want to teach along this process is, it's not perfect. Progress is not linear. It's progress over perfection. And fuck the all or nothing mentality. It's progress over perfection. So anyways, guys, tomorrow again I'll touch more on what I'm going to do from a nutrition standpoint. I'll talk more about macros and all of that, how I'm going to go about it, how I'm structuring things, how many meals, how many snacks, things like that. I will